All right, so we're going to talk about the writ of habeas corpus and how President Lincoln suspended it during the Civil War. And there was a case of a gentleman called John Merryman. So, President Lincoln suspends the writ of habeas corpus during the Civil War. John Merryman, a state legislator from Maryland, is arrested for attempting to hinder Union troops from moving from Baltimore to Washington during the Civil War and is held at Fort McHenry by Union military officials. His attorney immediately sought a writ of habeas corpus so that a federal court could examine the charges. However, President Abraham Lincoln decided to suspend the right of habeas corpus, and the general in command of Fort McHenry refused to turn Merryman over to the authorities. Okay, so John Merryman, he was a state legislator for Maryland. Remember, the Confederate side attacked us here in Maryland. And he got arrested because he tried to stop or hinder, make it not possible, delay the Union troops from moving from Baltimore to D.C. during the Civil War. So John Merryman, he was held at Fort McHenry by the Union military officials. So his lawyer said, no, you have to release him because habeas corpus states that you have to be, you cannot be held without probable cause, without being proved that you did something wrong. So Lincoln suspended the writ of habeas corpus in this case because he felt like John Merryman was supporting the Confederates and not the Unions, and he didn't want that to happen, so they held him over. Okay? Oops. See, here we go. Federal Judge Roger Taney, the Chief Justice of Supreme Court, and also the author of the infamous Dred Scott decision, issued a ruling that President Lincoln did not have the authority to suspend habeas corpus. Lincoln didn't respond, appeal, or order the release of Merryman. But during a July 4th speech, Lincoln was defiant, insisting that he needed to suspend the rules in order to put down the rebellion of the South. So a judge, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, he said that President Lincoln did not have the right to suspend habeas corpus. They could not hold Merryman because they couldn't prove that he did anything wrong, and he needed to be brought in front of a judge to prove what he did wrong, and if they couldn't prove it, then he needed to be released. So Lincoln just decided he was just going to ignore this. He didn't respond. He didn't appeal or try to prove why he felt that way, and he also didn't order the release of Merryman. So, but on July 4th, Lincoln did make a speech, and he did say that the reason he was keeping him and the reason he was suspending the writ of habeas corpus was because he needed to bring down the rebellion of the South. So he was trying to stop the Confederate side of the war. So that's how the right of habeas corpus was affected during the Civil War in the case of Merryman.